pregnant girlfriend attacked me. This happened less than 24 hours ago. I, male 28, and my girlfriend, female 28, have been together 9 months. Known each other through high school as best friends. Lately my girlfriend has been withdrawn, emotionally as well as physically in our relationship. I've tried to bring this up to her and how it bothers me. She tells me that I'm being too sensitive and unreasonable in my expectations. Here's the thing, I drive a semi-truck for a living. I'm usually gone from home 2 weeks at a time. When I come home it doesn't feel like I'm in a relationship, that she's missed me as I have for her. Instead I feel like a platonic roommate. Anytime I address this it turns into a fight where she acts like I'm saying she can't do anything right. I tell her no, I just need some effort on this. I've been willing to make some changes to myself for you, why can't you try for me? Then she says that I'm trying to dominate who she is as a person. So at this point she's 16 weeks pregnant and unemployed at the moment and I'm supporting her and paying for her bills. Even got her hair and nails done. She's in our room and we're arguing, she's on the bed while I'm standing at the foot of the bed. She gets too mad at me, she throws the covers off and gets up. Comes over to me and slams her hand into my throat and it knocks me off balance. I'm in shock at this point so I pull out my phone and start recording. At this point I'm literally pinned in the room between the dresser, the bed and her, my 16-week pregnant girlfriend who's just assaulted me and I can't get by her. The arguing continues for a few more minutes then as she reaches for my phone and face, she pushes me into the bedroom window and I hit my head. Finally I get out of the room and call 911. I go outside as she's calling her family trying to validate her behavior I guess. I'm crying on the front banister of the deck and I go to my car and wait on the police. Police arrive and take my statement as well as hers. I honestly thought that somehow I'd be the one to get this turned around on me somehow. The officers come back out with my GF, she gets in her car and leaves. This surprised me since I was the one who was usually gone on the road. I figured they'd tell me to leave. Police gave me a domestic violence card with numbers for help. They advised me to think about what's best going forward. Unfortunately there's not enough evidence for an arrest at this time, they said. I'd also be hearing from the detectives later on for a follow-up. So here I sit in our shared apartment wondering what's next. I don't know when she'll be coming back home. She has family locally where we live in Tennessee. Sorry for the long post. If you made it this far, any advice or criticism is welcomed. Even if I'm in the wrong. Oh honey, she has problems you aren't going to be able to fix. I'm so sorry. She should move in with her local family for the time being even if you are on the road 2 weeks at a time. This is not a healthy partnership and is way too chaotic for being 9 months in. Please take care of yourself. First off, abuse is never okay and you did the right thing. Was she violent, aggressive before the pregnancy? If not, alert her doctor so they can screen her for pregnancy-related mental illnesses. This does not mean ignore what she did. If she was always like this, stay apart and call the domestic abuse hotline for help removing her things from the apartment. And then petition for a paternity test, and once the baby is born get full custody. I say get the paternity test cause she may try to claim you are not the father. However, if this is a pregnancy-induced mental illness, still do not take her back. Once she gets help and starts therapy, as should you, try couples counseling. But only if you want to try and save it. Honestly, this feels like baby trapping to me. She knew you were gone for weeks. She got pregnant because she knew it would mean you supporting her financially. Also, she has a very valid excuse for not working. From what you said, she got pregnant 6 months into the relationship. That's far too early. Also, I gotta ask, are you 100,000% sure it's yours? If she did a 180 on you once she had you on the hook, you never know. It could also be depression. Prenatal depression is just as real as postnatal one but gets even less attention. There are huge issues here and I'd probably go to mediation, not even therapy. Figure out some terms for going forward and then maybe after that there is room for therapy. I know it's hard because she's pregnant. But physical violence is a deal breaker. Definitely call the numbers for support in this. Don't let her back into the home except to pack her things, and have a witness with you. My mom beat me up once for sneaking on the PC when she was pregnant. She threw the screen at my face which caused a bloody gash near my eye, tore the wires up and punched me several times. I was 15 and my girlfriend at the time said, "She did that because she's pregnant, like that her emotions are wild or something." I think I just believed her to make it all easier to deal with, but I am 25 now and realize my mom was just abusive. Not only with that situation but tons of other ways. I guess my advice would be to not forgive such behavior, cause if it was normal due to her hormones I think we'd see a lot more stories of pregnant women beating people up lol. It's a deal breaker man, sorry to tell you that. How do you know you're the dad? I'm so sorry you went through that. Domestic abuse is never okay. You did everything right in this situation by collecting evidence and calling the police. My applause that you were able to act so quickly and do it smart. I think the next point is to lawyer up, figure out your housing, depending on whose name it's in, and break up with her. She attacked you once, she'll attack you again. From that point forward, I'm hoping the lawyer can guide you in what to do next, but do not interact with her one-on-one anymore. You really have to think if it's worth it. Also, are you 100% this baby is yours? You said you're gone 2 weeks at a time and I am not saying anything, but there could be a possibility that she is lashing out because it's not yours, or she could just have postnatal depression. At this point you have to ask yourself what the point is of trying to make this relationship work. From your lost you two act like friends, then she does this? I'm failing to see the upside. Also, you have the kid to consider. Do you really want them growing up seeing this and thinking it's okay? My advice is to cut it off with her and then just be the best dad you possibly can. If she's attacked you once, she likely will again, and who knows, maybe next time she calls the cops and lies about you to try to retaliate. So she's distant emotionally and physically, and you're gone for weeks at a time and she's pregnant. Separate, and when the baby is born don't sign anything and demand a paternity test. How sure are you that the child is yours? She could be just leeching off you financially. Talk to the DV Center and a lawyer for help, ideas on how to keep her out of the apartment or remove her from the lease. Also speak to the attorney about how to ensure the paternity test is done so that if baby is yours, the legal rights are established immediately to prevent her from withholding the baby. I'm sorry this is happening to you, stay safe. Hey man, I read all of your posts. Sorry, but you need to free yourself of this relationships. People don't change in 30 to 40. And I think that your girlfriend's problems in her past relationships were partly and her fault. Now she is not this girl from school and your childhood. It's illusion. Be brave. Take control of your life, and if you need to leave somebody to feel good, you need to do this. Problems and complexes from someone's past life should not be your problems. As a pregnant individual 28W, I will say that despite the wild emotions I feel constantly, I would never hit or attack my partner. It's possible that she has developed gestational mental illness, but that would be a reason, not an excuse. Mental illness doesn't justify abuse. My hormones have me doing some wild shit and feeling overwhelming anger and fear and sadness, especially being so isolated during the pandemic, but I still manage not to hurt my partner. Paternity test time, dude, and then regardless of result, break up. If you are the father, then set up visitation before the child is born. Sorry dude. My mama always told me don't let no man hit you, and if he does, leave and don't go back. The same is true for you, don't let no woman hit you and don't go back to her. Abuse is universal and tends to get worse. Be strong, do not be ashamed, you hold your head high because you stopped it. You will not be abused, you can be an example for your kid to never accept abuse. Are you sure this is your kid? I would get a paternity test before you put your name on anything. Why would you want to be in a relationship like this? This is the honeymoon phase, it just goes downhill from here, dude. Why not go be with someone who wants to actually be with you? And no, a kid is not a good reason to stay with someone. Rent a storage locker and put all your valuables in it while you are on the road. Anything expensive. Set up hidden cameras in case she comes back when you are gone. Protect your finances. Change passwords etc. Once there's abuse in a relationship, it's over, or it should be. Request a paternity test. If the child is yours, then prepare yourself from the get-go to identify and record any evidence of parental alienation from her side so you can file for full custody at some point. This woman is toxic. You need to say your goodbyes and never look back. Hang on. So let me get this straight. How the fuck is a recording not enough evidence? Future is unclear, but something is clear now. She isn't a person worth keeping around. Assault is never okay, and being pregnant or a woman isn't an excuse for it. The way I see it is, she's been fucking some other man while you are away working your ass off. She is distant because she is cheating on you 100%. I wouldn't be surprised if she got knocked up by another man. How come every issue I read about online lately, it's all in my home state? I'm embarrassed. You should post this on our Redditor. Don't put up with that. That is the only real time I'd say dump her and go on your way. Just going into the root cause of the ordeal. She has an avoidant attachment type. You have an anxious attachment type. Your trigger is that she would not talk about this, and her trigger is that you forced her to talk about this. The difference is she resorted to violence in response to her trigger, and that's really concerning. Something is going on mentally and she needs to talk to someone. But just because someone's mental health issues caused them to abuse you doesn't mean your trauma through this ordeal is invalidated. I would talk to someone about this, and no, you don't have to be with her. I think she's been cheating on you for a while. Get a DNA test for the baby. 16 weeks pregnant after dating 9 months? The fuck were you thinking? Take a step back and watch the Narcissistic Abuse documentary on YouTube. Rang some bells with me when I read your story. Nip it in the butt before this goes on for too long. Dude, you need to pressure this nutjob into an abortion before she ruins your life. Now that she has you, her real self is showing as she no longer has to put on an act. Whether you break up or are together, she is going to make your life a living hell. Either way, either get the hell out of there or get a restraining order against her so she can't come back in and set you up for some sort of false domestic charge and kick you out. You don't deserve this. Break the lease and move out. Let her sort herself out. When the baby is born, take a paternity test. Was she like this before getting pregnant? Or is this a new reaction from her? If she is like that with you, how is she going to be with the kid? Also, you should make sure the child is yours when it's born. You better find $600 fast or buckle up. Leave. It will not get better. Record everything. Abusers aren't fit to be parents. Use these reports when you need to fight for custody later. Y'all need to figure out something where she possibly stays with someone while she's pregnant and seeks therapy. This isn't a good situation to bring a child into. And I hate to bring it up considering everything you've been through, but IDK suggest a paternity test. Maybe hold off until the child is born, but definitely something you should look into. The way she acts when you come home makes it seem like maybe she's got someone else, and if this isn't a common occurrence, it could stem from her being stressed because she's cheated and doesn't think you are the father. Hate to be this person. But are you sure the baby is yours? The way you described it, her withholding affection. I'd ask for a paternity test. Also, pregnancy can cause weird hormones issues. But I'd definitely ask for a paternity test. Cause bro, she sounds like she stepped out on you. You said you live in a shared apartment. Do you have some guy roommates? You have a video of her attacking you and the police says there's not enough evidence? WTF. Okay, first things first, man the hell up and never cry like a baby. If she tries to physically assault you, don't take it like a pussy, stand up to her and show her who's boss. You're a man, toughen up, princess.